Liverpool rocked by shock twists on and off the pitch. Don't miss a second. Subscribe now for instant Reds updates, exclusives, and breaking alerts.
News headline: Liverpool ease to Marseille win and close on a crucial top 8 spot. 5 talking points. Marseille 0-3 Liverpool. Dominic Szoboszlai set the Reds on their way to a convincing win in France as they leaped up the Champions League standings with 1 game to go. Liverpool furthered their Champions League ambitions with an impressive win at Marseille as Dominic Szoboszlai inspired the Reds into the top 8. Arne Slot's side continue to remain inconsistent in the Premier League but have secured some impressive scalps in Europe and can now add a win at the Stade Velodrome to their exploits. The French side, who boast the likes of Mason Greenwood and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, were largely contained. Liverpool, meanwhile, were more than good value for their win, with Szoboszlai opening the scoring in the first half. His smart free kick, which went under the wall, was added to in the second half when Jeremy Frimpong's work down the right forced Facundo Medina to knock the ball into his own net before Cody Gakpo scored a third in stoppage time. It could have been even more. Hugo Ekitike had seen an earlier strike ruled out for offside after VAR stepped in. The forward, playing in his homeland, was then denied by the woodwork early in the second half as the Reds pressed for a second. Florian Wirtz was denied shortly after by Geronimo Rulli, who produced an impressive save. Former Arsenal and Chelsea frontman Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang was introduced from the bench, but he couldn't find the equalizer the hosts were looking for. Instead, it was Frimpong who all but made the game safe with 20 minutes left. He waltzed past his opponent, getting to the byline before his cross squirted into the Marseille net. Gakpo appeared from the bench to add some gloss to the scoreline, the Dutchman finishing neatly after compatriot Ryan Gravenberch had found him with time and space. The Reds welcomed Karabag, the Azerbaijani outfit, in their final Champions League outing. They'll be firm favorites to see them off as Slot looks to make an impact on the European stage, a box that was left unticked last season. Here's 5 talking points from the south of France. Dom spot on. He is simply deadly from a set piece. He's produced some stunning free kicks since joining the Reds, notably against Arsenal earlier this season, and showed how creative he can be with his strike that broke the deadlock. To all those who mocked the man who laid behind the wall, now you know why. Szoboszlai showed his value when he filled in at right back to begin the season, but there's no doubting that midfield is his best position. Having the Hungarian has certainly eased the pain of losing Trent Alexander-Arnold, who for so long was a set-piece specialist. In Szoboszlai, they have a man who is every bit as dangerous. Right where they need to be. Following the win in the south of France, Liverpool ensured they are one of 4 Premier League teams with their automatic qualification hopes in their own hands heading into the final round of games next week. Slot's side have jumped into the top 8, giving them straight passage into the last 16. They found out last season when PSG beat them at Anfield that a top 8 finish is no guarantee of progression, but it certainly makes life easier. If Liverpool's domestic season has been a challenge this term, they've looked far more assured in Europe. Reds hard to read. We're nearly 2 months since Liverpool last lost a game in any competition. They were hammered 4-1 by PSV at Anfield during a losing run that felt like it was destined to go on and on, such was the lack of confidence and direction among the Merseysiders. But they've managed to stop the rut, and if going unbeaten is anything to go by, then Slot has got them on the right path. The issue is the constant false starts for the Reds and the teams they're failing to beat. Before heading to France, they were held by Burnley at Anfield. That is not a Liverpool team in full swing, but they are much harder to beat and showed they had no issue dealing with a cauldron-like atmosphere in the Stade Velodrome. What now for De Zerbi? Go back 18 months and with question marks over the future of Erik ten Hag, there was talk of the Italian taking charge at Manchester United. That vacancy will be live in the summer, but Roberto De Zerbi's name isn't being thrown about like it was when he left Brighton. He proved that he could punch well above his weight with the Seagulls, so he landed a job in a European side with pedigree in Marseille. He's acquitted himself well, without necessarily pushing his agenda to take yet another step up. Only time will tell if he can find another level. Gomez gets a go. If it wasn't for Ibrahima Konate having to head home to deal with a family issue, then it's highly likely that Joe Gomez would have started another game on the bench. He's made more appearances as a sub than a starter so far this term, undoubtedly behind Konate in the pecking order. There's been talk of him moving on. If it wasn't for Liverpool's shortage at center half, then the two parties may weigh up whether a move could take place. But as things stand, Gomez will certainly be called upon at times, and he showed he's more than capable of stepping up when needed. Exclusively Sky Sports pundit Alan Smith on where Liverpool goes next under Arne Slot, with Xabi Alonso available and the rumor mill likely to continue to link him with Anfield. Former Premier League striker and Sky Sports pundit Alan Smith says rumors about Xabi Alonso taking over from Arne Slot are unlikely to go anywhere anytime soon. Fired by Real Madrid earlier this month, Alonso's stock is still high after he won the Bundesliga title with his former club, Bayer Leverkusen. There, he helped develop Florian Wirtz and Jeremy Frimpong and established himself as one of the top up-and-coming coaches on the continent. But even though Liverpool has improved of late, putting in arguably its best performance of the season so far to beat Marseille in the Champions League on Wednesday, the talk around Alonso looks set to remain. He's hovering, isn't he? A Liverpool legend like that out of work? Sky Sports pundit Alan Smith, speaking before the Reds' impressive victory in Europe, tells Liverpool.com. We can almost ignore the Real Madrid stint and look at what he did at Leverkusen. Managing Real Madrid is a totally different job to anywhere else, I think, with the egos and what have you. So there will be question marks about Arne Slot because things are still not right there, far from right. I think Spurs had a little look at Alonso as to whether they could get him, but I'm not sure he fancies it. But that will be an ongoing thing, won't it, with Liverpool fans about Xabi Alonso being available. You can understand fans saying they're boring this season. They're a shadow of the team from last year. Liverpool has had some big results in Europe so far this season, beating Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, Inter Milan, and now Marseille. But in the league, it's slightly fortunate that the teams below it have been just as inconsistent. Chelsea and Manchester United have both changed managers at the start of the new year and could improve. There are only 9 points between Liverpool and 15th-placed Bournemouth. They just can't click and can't get any momentum. Drawing games left, right, and center, things are just going against them. I think Arne Slot said that. I did the Fulham game when Harrison Reed got that blinding goal right at the end, and that seems to be how things are at the moment for Liverpool. But testing times for Slot, and for the fans as well, obviously. After winning the title, they're expecting a lot more. At this point, you're just looking at making sure they get back in the Champions League, I think. That's as high as they can aim. Well, they can still win a trophy in the FA Cup. Whether they're equipped to win that, I don't know. But to just make sure they're back in the Champions League again next season is the goal, I think. In the Premier League, that might be true. In Europe, however, another impressive win has fans dreaming of a Champions League run this year, alongside ensuring qualification for the next edition.
News headline: Arne Slot angrily claps back at Liverpool fans over sack claims as top journalist shares major Xabi Alonso update. Liverpool manager Arne Slot has sent the Reds fans a stern message over the booing of his side and his management after reminding them of the Premier League title he won for the club last season, while a trusted journalist has provided a major update on claims he faces the sack and could be replaced at the helm by Xabi Alonso. Slot breezed into Merseyside last season and took the squad he inherited from Jurgen Klopp to title success at a canter, ultimately finishing 10 points clear of nearest challengers Arsenal. However, after being allowed to invest some £440 million, €505 million, $600 million on new players over the summer, the defense of their crown has not exactly gone to plan. Indeed, a bleak run of form over the autumn saw Liverpool lose an unacceptable 9 of 12 games during their nadir, form which saw the Liverpool Echo claim the Dutchman was 1 week away from the sack. Since then, Liverpool have gone 13 matches unbeaten and did put up arguably their best display for some weeks on Wednesday night in putting Marseille to the sword, 3-0 in the Champions League. However, the Dutchman and his side were subject to some boos last time out as Burnley hauled the Reds back to escape Anfield with a 1-1 draw last time out. Speaking before that match at the Stade Velodrome, Slot was quick to remind fans calling for his head and jeering his team that he is one of only 2 Liverpool managers to have delivered Premier League title glory over the last 30 years. Do people not expect that to be possible for me, to be successful? It's new to me, but if you're 1.5 years in the job and have already won the Premier League when the club has won it twice in 30 years, I'm surprised to hear that. Slot clapped back at doubts over the job he has done when speaking to TNT Sports. But if that is the situation, then I have to accept that. I've tried the same things as last season this time around. Slot also insists his expensively assembled squad will need time to gel and has urged fans to stay patient with him and his players. Everyone knows what we need to do in order to make the next step in this transition phase, but sometimes a bit of patience is needed. Journalist provides update on Slot future, Xabi Alonso to Liverpool claims. Our reporter, Fraser Fletcher, revealed earlier this month that the club have no plans to sack Slot right now, though they do have a list of 4 options to replace the Dutchman should they decide to make a change. However, nothing will be decided before the summer, with FSG determined to see out the season at the very least with the 47-year-old at the helm. At the same time Slot was speaking, journalist Ben Jacobs provided a firm update on Slot's future, as well as sharing what he knows about the links to Xabi Alonso, with the Spaniard strongly tipped to replace him at Anfield in light of his recent departure at Real Madrid. Regarding Xabi Alonso and Liverpool, it's Slot and Liverpool, and for now, Slot retains the pretty firm, I'm told, backing of the hierarchy, Jacobs told TalkSport. And no doubt, come the end of the season, there'll be a review based on where they're at, but all signs point to Liverpool sticking with their appointment rather than having their head turned by Xabi Alonso being available mid-season. Latest Liverpool news, spectacular €100 million winger links, Guehi stance explained. On the potential new manager front, we have ranked the most likely to the most ridiculous of names who could replace Slot at the helm should FSG decide to make a change. Meanwhile, Liverpool have confirmed that a defender who has thankfully overcome an injury nightmare has left the club on loan. Looking ahead to the summer window, Slot's side have reportedly drawn up a sensational €100 million offer to beat Man U in the race for a coveted winger. Back to the here and now, claims that Mark Guehi cost Manchester City a bargain £20 million have been thoroughly debunked after a Tier 1 journalist revealed the truly eye-watering costs of the deal and having revealed exactly why Liverpool shied away. Despite those pleas, we understand Slot should certainly be able to sleep a little easier of late.
News headline: Arne Slot answers doubters as Liverpool silences the noise in Marseille. In a high-stakes Champions League game, the Liverpool head coach got his tactics perfect against Marseille and Roberto De Zerbi as the Reds won 3-0 and took a huge step towards automatic qualification. If Arne Slot had any doubt about the pressure he is under as Liverpool head coach, Tuesday's pre-match media duties in Marseille provided an uncomfortable reminder. The Dutchman understandably bristled at a toe-curling question about Xabi Alonso in his press conference ahead of the Champions League clash in France, and then was taken aback when asked by TNT Sports if he needed to restore some faith with Liverpool fans. On both occasions, Slot responded by reflecting on what he has achieved in the last 18 months at Anfield. That glorious spring afternoon when Liverpool secured a 20th league title now feels a long time, though. The subsequent decline, not all of which should be pinned solely on Slot, has led some to doubt whether he has the credentials needed to steer Liverpool towards silverware once again. Therefore, Wednesday's performance in Marseille was the perfect response. Slot couldn't have wished for a more effective game plan to outsmart an opposition head coach he hailed as one of the world's best before the game. Perhaps there was a sense of killing Roberto De Zerbi with kindness. Certainly, the goodwill ended abruptly when the referee's whistle blew. That Slot, a coach who prides himself on his attacking principles, talked up De Zerbi's attacking philosophy and then executed an almost flawless counter-attacking display was a move laced with devilment. If De Zerbi truly is an elite tactician, a view shared by Pep Guardiola, then this encounter showed how Slot, at his best, belongs in that bracket too. He perfectly anticipated Marseille's approach, with the League One outfit opting to stretch the pitch, bait the press, and then look to surge forward rapidly. In response, Slot altered his shape, setting up with a 4-2-2-2-2 system that allowed Liverpool to retain numbers in the middle and then spring forward into the space created by De Zerbi's expansive tactics. Against Marseille's open midfield, Liverpool's remained compact. The 4 central players timed their runs to perfection into the chasm created by the advancing white shirts. Marseille controlled possession, managing 550 passes, while the Reds completed fewer than 400 and favored quick, vertical passes, a trait largely absent in recent weeks. There were early warning signs when Hugo Ekitike poked home while standing marginally offside, but Marseille did not heed that threat. After Dominic Szoboszlai handed Liverpool the advantage in the dying embers of the first half, 2 dynamic, penetrative attacks provided further goals in the second period. Marseille goalkeeper Geronimo Rulli inadvertently prodded the ball into his own goal after Jeremy Frimpong's remarkable foray down the right, and then in injury time, Cody Gakpo swept the ball home to finish off a sublime break. Critics will point to how Marseille's open nature mirrored that of Aston Villa and Brighton and Hove Albion this season. Side Slot has readily admitted Liverpool enjoyed facing in comparison to the low-block, long ball style he has found so vexing. But that should not take away from Slot's clinical approach. In truth, it could have been more than 3-0. Ekitike hit the bar, Florian Wirtz forced Rulli into a smart save as he's shown again, while back in the team, Mohamed Salah should have made his late effort count. Fresh from his exploits with Egypt, this was Salah's first Liverpool start since the disastrous defeat to PSV Eindhoven in late November, and for all the concerns that a recent run of 4 successive league draws has brought, the scale of Liverpool's improvement in 2 months should not be overlooked. That soulless PSV showing was an anomaly in this season's Champions League. Liverpool wilted under the pressure that night, but has so often stood up to the challenge on the European stage this term. While the weekly rigors of domestic league games have proved formidable, the Champions League has brought the best out of Liverpool's side. Wins over Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, Inter Milan, and now away at Marseille give credence to the belief this Liverpool team has the capacity to go all the way in the Champions League this season. That would certainly banish any questions about Slot's credentials. In the meantime, victory leaves Liverpool 4th in the table ahead of that crunch game against Qarabag next week. A point should be enough to secure automatic qualification to the last 16, but 3 are expected at Anfield.
News headline: Dominic Szoboszlai homework delivers massive impact for Liverpool. Dominic Szoboszlai has disclosed how meticulous preparation from the Liverpool coaching team enabled him to put the Reds on course for Champions League triumph in Marseille. Szoboszlai netted the breakthrough goal from a set-piece during first-half stoppage as Arne Slot's outfit took a significant stride towards automatic qualification for the last 16 at the Stade Velodrome, with a commanding 3-0 victory on Wednesday night. Following Liverpool being granted a foul close to the edge of the Marseille penalty area, the midfielder took charge ahead of Mohamed Salah and delivered a low drive beneath the wall and past keeper Geronimo Rulli. Szoboszlai subsequently revealed how he had been briefed that the French club frequently opts, contrary to numerous other sides, against positioning a player on the ground behind the wall to prevent such attempts. "I did my homework," he told TNT Sports. "I got told that if nobody is laying down, then maybe I can have a chance to hit it under the wall. No one was laying down, so I tried it, and yeah, it worked out. We will always discuss who feels good in the game to take the free kick. Salah, asked me if I wanted to take it, and I said yes because I checked if nobody is laying down, I'm going to take it under the wall. He said, okay, then take it, and I scored. I'm really happy that Salah, is back and helping the team on the pitch and also off the pitch as well. I'm really close to him and I like to play with him. He's shown many times he has the ability to change a game. He didn't have a goal or an assist today, still he was working hard, and sometimes you have to close your eyes and work hard for the team. Probably next game he will score or assist someone." Szoboszlai also played a part in the build-up to Liverpool's 3rd goal, netted by substitute Cody Gakpo after Jeremy Frimpong had prompted an own goal from Rulli on 72. The outcome leaves the Reds sitting in 4th position in the standings, with only a home fixture against Qarabag left next Wednesday. The top 8 progress straight through to the last 16 and bypass the requirement for a playoff. "I am very happy," said Szoboszlai. "We knew it would be tough. We know what they're able to do with this coach, Roberto De Zerbi. We were prepared, and we take the 3 points."
News headline: Liverpool to make €100 million bid for world's most in-demand winger as the Reds get the last laugh over Guehi. News and details: Liverpool are preparing a concrete €100 million bid to sign RB Leipzig's Jan Diomande, while the Reds have had the last laugh over Mark Guehi and Jurgen Klopp has spoken about returning to management with Real Madrid. Diomande, 19, is fast emerging as a genuine transfer target for many a giant side, though according to a report, it's Anfield where his future could lay. Jan Diomande. RB Leipzig paid just €20 million when signing the right-footed winger from Spanish side Leganes last summer. He's returned figures of 7 goals and 4 assists in just 1,161 minutes of action this term, meaning he's providing a goal contribution roughly once every 100 minutes. Those are extraordinary numbers for a teenager, and numerous high-profile sides have taken note. Tottenham have already failed with an audacious move this month, while Manchester United have been confirmed as a keen admirer by Fabrizio Romano. However, Diomande's dream, according to the player himself, is to sign and play for Liverpool. And according to the latest from Caught Offside, Liverpool could make that dream a reality in the summer when bidding €100 million, or £87 million.
Diamande's deal in Leipzig does not contain a release clause, and, per the report, they've informed interested parties the bidding must begin at €100 million. The Reds don't intend to mess around and plan to thunder in at that exact price point, per the report. Aside from Spurs and Man U, caught offside noted Chelsea, Arsenal, PSG, and Bayern Munich are all hovering too, but for now at least, Liverpool are at the front of the queue and intend to act on their interest. Guehi. Many a Liverpool fan are dismayed at their club missing out on Guehi, but if the eye-watering numbers in the deal are anything to go by, the Reds have had the last laugh and made the right call when steering clear. Liverpool had everything agreed and in place to land Guehi last summer, only to see the move fall through on deadline day after Crystal Palace failed to sign an adequate replacement in time. Liverpool intended to snap Guehi up at the second time of asking, when he would have become a free agent next summer. Man City had other ideas. Of Guehi's many suitors, City were the only ones willing to bid for the defender this month. The $20 million transfer fee doing rounds in the media certainly suggested Pep Guardiola's side had pulled off a masterful move. However, The Athletic's James Pearce has revealed the shocking true cost of City's swoop, with the final number set to hit around €125 million. The $20 million transfer fee only tells one part of the story, with add-ons eventually taking that number up to €30 million. Regarding salary, Guehi will pocket £300,000 a week throughout his 5.5-year deal. In total, Guehi's salary will cost Man City €85.8 million. Furthermore, City are understood to have committed to an unusually high agent's commission to ensure a deal was made. Had Guehi joined Liverpool, he would have slotted in as their third highest paid player, behind only Virgil van Dijk and Mohamed Salah, who are two of Liverpool and the Premier League's all-time greats. Guehi would have earned more than Florian Wirtz and Alexander Isak, who it can be argued are truly world-class players. Once Van Dijk and Salah depart, Guehi would have become Liverpool's top earner, and it doesn't take a genius to work out many of Liverpool's other high-profile players would have tasked their agents with getting parity with Guehi in the wages department. Pearce also noted Liverpool giving Guehi £300,000 a week would have played havoc with their attempts to iron out a series of upcoming and crucial new contracts. Ibrahima Konate and Ryan Gravenberch are both the subject of discussions about new deals right now. In the end, perhaps wisely, Liverpool deemed the extraordinary cost of signing Guehi would be detrimental to the club's long-term financial health. That is a problem Man City must now wrestle with over the coming years, and Guehi's colossal wages will no doubt be used against them when the club negotiate contract extensions and with potential future signings. Finally, two recent interviews given by Jurgen Klopp strongly suggest he won't be returning to management at Real Madrid, despite rampant speculation. The Liverpool icon told AFP, "I don't want to be somewhere else. I don't get up and excited if Real Madrid are showing interest, if they would be, but it's the media. Do I want to coach again? At the moment, I would say no, but I cannot say never, never, never. I don't expect to change my mind, but I don't know." The 58-year-old added, "We're building a house right now, and my missus wanted to have a really big trophy room. There was another small room, and I said this is enough, because we know how many trophies we have. We will not add any. It might sound arrogant, but I know I can coach a football team, but I don't need to do it until my last day." In comments recently carried by The Athletic, Klopp does not sound like a man eager to return to management. "I know I can coach a football team, but that doesn't mean I have to do it until my last day," said the German. "I wanted to do something different. Red Bull gave me an opportunity to find a role which we have been defining together, step by step. I'm in a place as a person where I'm completely at peace with where I am. I don't want to be somewhere else. I've got to know a lot of people whom I didn't know before. I've been to a lot of business meetings and learned words that I never knew before. It's been a good time. 1 year in, 5 years of experience gained."